What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii and I'm back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we'll be going through the full preparation guide for the upcoming treasure map versus Jack. So in this video, we're going to be breaking down the actual character himself in Jack the Drought. We'll also go through each of the mini-boss and final boss stages, as well as some useful teams and units that you guys should be able to build around in order to take on the upcoming treasure map. So hopefully you guys do go on to enjoy this video, and if you guys do, make sure to smack the like button down below, as these videos do take an extremely long time to create. Hopefully you guys do go on to enjoy it, but without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk about the brand new treasure map character being Jack the Drought. So Jack is a quick powerhouse striker type character at max level at level 99 with max limit break. His health is 3,600, his attack is 1,760, and his recovery is 219, so across the board he has very good statistics. He has 60 cost like all other treasure map characters, and he has 5 socket spots when you get him to max limit break. Now initially Jack's captain effect will start off extremely weak, however when you do max limit break him, this is his final captain ability, boosting powerhouse character's attack by 2.75 times and also reducing damage taken by 20%. A very one-dimensional, very simplistic captain effect to understand, and it's not terrible. However, it's not a captain effect that you would really need to use that often, but that 20% damage reduction is quite immense, and you're not really going to be taking that much damage, when you are using him as a captain. Now the special ability of Jack starts at 36 turns and goes down to 29 turns, however through the limit break of course, he goes down an immense number of turns, down to 14 turns, and his special is quite unique in the fact that it reduces percent damage reduction, which is the rainbow shield buff, it reduces defense up, which is the blue shield buff, and damage nullification, which is the shield where the enemy literally takes no damage while that shield is up. It reduces all 3 of those defensive buffs by 2 turns, and he also deals fixed non-type damage to a single enemy depending on how many enemies are on the enemy side of the field. So it scales depending on if they have a lot of enemies, then it does more damage, but if they only have one enemy, then it does less damage. So I believe when there's only one enemy on the field, he does 300,000 fixed damage to one enemy, but if there is a full enemy side of the field with 6 characters, and you activate his special ability, it will deal 2 million fixed damage to a single enemy that goes through defensive effects. A very powerful ability that is actually quite nice because Jack is boosted in his own treasure map, meaning that once you do max him out, you can actually use him in some of the other mini-boss fights, and we'll go through that a little bit later. So the first of these mini-boss fights is going to be Eustace Kid. Kid is a dex character with health of 488,000, and he gains 63,440 HP per navigation level, and his attack power starts off at 8,000 and gains 520 attack power per navigation level. Now, I've heard from multiple different sources, whether it be on stage 5 or on stage 3, but there is a 3-turn attack down that will be inflicted on your crew, whether it be stage 5 or stage 3. I'm not 100% certain on which stage it is, but when you actually get to the final stage against Eustace Kid, he will have a preemptive attack that makes strength, dex, and quick slots count as negative for 3 turns, and he also has a 99-turn debuff protector. Also, after the first turn of attacks, Kid will apply a 6-turn chain multiplier decrease to your crew, and if you get Kid below 50%, he will go ahead and double the attack of all of the enemy side of the field. Now, due to the preemptive attack of Kid making red, blue, and green orbs count as negative, the best way to deal with him is to utilize characters that either use a lot of Psi or Int orbs, namely the Germa 66 squad. So if you have the fully super evolved squad, that is the best possible team to use against Eustace Kid himself. Obviously, there are ways around it as well. Other characters that you could use are just other characters that give you matching orbs that are Int or Psi characters. 2 boosted characters that are quite good for this could be like V2 Fujin. You can run a slasher team, or you could run a fighter team utilizing Jinbei. However, Jinbei, I would say, is going to be a little bit more useful in some other fights a little bit later on. Moving on to the next mini-boss, we have Caesar Clown. Caesar is a strength unit with 484,092 HP, and he gains 62,920 HP per navigation level. he starts off at 7,500 attack, and he does gain 487 attack per navigation level. Now, Caesar's Pre-Emptive Attack will apply a 98 turn attack up buff to your crew, and I do believe it is a 20% boost, so a 1.2 times boost to your crew. I think it's either that or it might be even less than that. On top of this, he also gives your crew a 4-turn chain lock. I'm unsure how much the chain lock is, and he also will go ahead and cut your crew's HP by 75%. Now, after the second turn of attacks, Caesar will apply a 99 turn poison to your crew, which means that you will take 750 damage per unit on your crew. So ideally, you want to take him out before he poisons your crew, because after that 75% health cut that he does to you, that poison is probably going to be ending up killing you very, very quickly. One thing about Caesar that a lot of people don't like either is the fact that he has an interrupt whenever you activate an orb boost, he will disable your orb boost. Now, he actually will do this up to 2 times, meaning that if you want to use an orb boost, you have to bring 3 different orb boosters. You use 2 orb boosts first, he will then remove those 2 orb boosts, and then you can use your third one for your actual orb boost. So moving on to recommended units and teams that you guys should be aiming to build for. One of the most optimal teams or different ways that you can get around this is utilizing Legend Iruarashi, where he has a captain effect that boosts Cerebral, and he also has a special ability that will give you mass tap timing bonus additional damage. Obviously, because you already get given an attack up buff, and utilizing orb boost can be quite tricky, you want to try and find ways around not using an attack or an orb boost. So color affinity and conditional boosts are going to be quite useful here. That's why I also suggest Treasure Map Sabo for the conditional boost, and also Raid Cracker is actually very useful here as well, because he gives you a full board of orbs as well as removing that chain lock that Caesar inflicts on your crew. So having Raid Cracker for this is actually going to be quite useful. Another different strategy that you could try and tackle this with is utilizing Treasure Map Cavendish to remove that attack boost that Caesar puts on your crew, and then you could utilize, some other orb boosts or attack boosts, because already with, double Treasure Map Cavendish, that's already 2 orb boosts, and then also the Rare Recruit Sai Sugar is also boosted as well. So there's actually a pretty decent driven-based team that you could use in order to take on the battle against Caesar. Moving on to boss number 3, we have Hody Jones. Hody is an int character, and he starts off with 720,000 HP, and he gains 93,600 HP per navigation level. His attack power is 6,600, and he gains 429 attack per navigation level. Hody's Pre-Emptive Attack will apply a 99 turn full debuff protector. He also makes all your slots into block, and he will apply a 1.5 times chain lock to your crew for 6 turns. After the second turn of attacks, Hody will go ahead and enrage himself, going down to a 1-turn cooldown, and when he does enrage, he gives himself a 1.5 times attack boost, so that is something that you do have to note about that. Also, when you finally kill Hody Jones, he recovers up to 25% of his max HP. He then also will give himself a 2-turn blue shield defense up buff. So ideally, the best team you want to be running here is basically the full batch of the V2 Sanji Sugofest batch, utilizing obviously double Sanji as the captain, because they're actually quite good here, because you can utilize their special ability to not only deal a lot of damage to Hody and get the type boost, but he also removes that really annoying chain limiter or chain locking buff that he gives you at the start of the fight. And he also will actually do a lot of damage on the revive as well, which will actually do enough damage to pierce his blue shield defense buff and completely kill him on the revive. And then obviously the other characters are good because they give you lots and lots of boosts. However, other characters that are going to be quite good here are going to be characters like the Fortnite Kid Sanji, who helps you remove some of the defensive effects from Hody. You also got Treasure Map Ace, who gives you not only a type boost, but actually will give you, the full board of strength orbs, and also the fact that you have access to characters like Coliseum Opera, who makes strength orbs beneficial for fighters. So there's some pretty good things that you can do utilizing some of these characters here. Legend Jinbei is going to be probably one of the most ideal units here, because not only does he give you a full board of matching orbs whenever you do need it, but you can use him on the revive instead to get rid of the defensive effects from Hody when he revives. And then obviously V2 Sanji is the most optimal character to bring against Hody for this fight. Moving on now to the last of the mini bosses, being Urogue. So Urogue is a quick character and he has 450,000 HP and he gains an additional 58,500 per navigation level. His attack power is 3,300 and he gains 214 attack per navigation level. Now, not included in his preemptive attack, but him and all of his surrounding enemies all have a 10-hit combo barrier. So that can be quite annoying to get around, but there are definitely easy ways to help you get around these characters. Now, moving on to his preemptive attack, he does apply a 98 turn delay protector, which means you can reduce his defense and you can poison him, which are going to be quite useful here. Also, he makes all your slots into negative slots, so you're going to bring some sort of orb manipulator here to help you get rid of those. And every 2 turns, Urogue will blow away one random unit on your crew, so definitely try and kill him before the end of that second turn. Otherwise, it does make this fight extremely difficult. Also, at the end of every turn, Urogue will actually keep buffing his own attack, but he only does it 3 times. So the first turn is a 1.25 times attack boost, the second turn is a 1.5 times attack boost, and the third turn is a 2 times attack boost. And this buff, I believe it is only to Urogue, but I've heard reports of this going to all enemies on the enemy side of the field. So ideally, you want to try and just take him down as soon as possible, and as I said, before the end of that second turn, so you don't get units blown away. So one of the better teams against this Urogue fight is going to be Neko Mamushi, utilizing some other sub-characters like Legend Magellan 6+, and also Treasure Map Whitebeard. Treasure Map Croc is kind of in this example team here just because he is a 1.35 times point booster, giving you a little bit more points towards, you know, the ranking and getting more rewards and stuff. But definitely the most suggested characters that I would say are definitely Treasure Map Whitebeard, because his special ability alone will just completely decimate all of the surrounding characters. He just does so much damage that bypasses barriers. He has a delay protector, so you get the orb boost. They have the barrier as well, which means that he does get his own type boost, but ideally if you want to, bringing another sort of type boost that would kind of help with that. If you don't want to use Whitebeard, you can still go ahead and use Legend Magellan 6+, whose Toxic will actually KO the surrounding enemies as well, because he does have a delay protector and not a poison protector or a full debuff protector. So Magellan is also a very, very good unit here. Now, a really cool strategy that you could try and implement here is once you finally max out Treasure Map Jack, you can use him against Urogue because he does have 6 surrounding mob characters, and this would mean that Jack does 2 million fixed damage that goes through all defensive effects through the barrier and would just deal immense amounts of damage to just Urogue. So what you can do is you can just take down Urogue extremely easy with this kind of strategy. So if you guys want to try and implement that after you max Jack, that is definitely a good way to do it as well. And finally, we make it now to the final battle against Jack. However, on stage 6, you do have to fight his unevolved version, of course. Jack is a quick character, and on stage 6, he has 460,000 HP at nav level 1, and he gains an additional 59,800, essentially 60,000 HP per navigation level, and his attack power on stage 6 is 3,600, gaining 234 per navigation level. So on stage 6, you will get given a 3-turn special bind to all of your characters on your crew. On top of this as well is the fact that he will also apply a 98-turn full debuff protector, and also the fact that he has a 2-turn % damage reduction. So utilizing someone that can get rid of that damage reduction is going to be quite useful, especially on really high nav levels. This damage reduction could be quite annoying to get around. Now, after the first turn of attacks, Jack actually will enrage, which will buff his own attack by 2 times. So yeah, definitely on some of the more difficult nav levels, this will be quite an annoying stage to get around. And then moving on to the final stage, stage 7 against Treasure Map Jack. Obviously being a quick character once again. However, on nav level 1, he does have 1.5 million HP, and he gains 195,000 per nav level, and he also has 9,000 attack on nav level 1, gaining 585 attack per nav level. His preemptive attack will apply a 4-turn damage limiter, so any damage above 100,000 is going to be limited for 4 turns. He also has a 2-hit Great Barrier for 1 turn, and he also randomizes all your orbs into either type orbs and also block orbs as well. so having someone that can remove block orbs or just manipulate them is going to be quite a useful unit for this fight. On the second turn of attacks, he'll actually go ahead and remove all positive buffs on your side of the field. He also goes down to a 1-turn cooldown, and he applies a 99-turn full debuff protector. So if there are any debuffs that you want to do to Jack, it is ideal that you do them, you know, in those first couple of turns of attack. So after that first couple of turns of attacks, it will be quite difficult to take him down. And also, when his HP is below 20%, he will attack you with 3 times his normal attack power. So in most cases, that will spell the end of your run. So the most annoying thing about Treasure Map Jack is the fact that on both Stage 6 and Stage 7, he does have extremely annoying defensive effects, whether it be damage limiter and also Rainbow Shield damage reduction. So the more useful units that you can bring that can remove those specific buffs, the better off that you'll be at taking him down. Now, some suggested characters that help you get rid of either damage reduction or the damage limiters are going to be the Strength Rare Recruit Treble, Quick Rare Recruit Bobbin, the 5+ Yonji, and also Fortnite Rebecca. All 4 of these characters are actually quite good at either removing rainbow damage reduction or damage limiter. So what I would suggest, highly suggest to you guys, is to try and build teams around these specific characters, especially if you want to take down Jack a lot easier. If you can utilize those type of characters. But obviously the best team that you can build in terms of countering their debuffs is going to be utilizing the 3 Treasure Map Rare Recruit characters with double Inuarashi captains, with Shirahoshi, with Sicilian. Katakuri is actually quite good here as well, because Katakuri synergizes extremely well with Sicilian. Sicilian gives you the delay, as well as allowing Katakuri to get his conditional boost off, as well as getting all your matching orbs. Just Katakuri works so well with this specific team as a sub. And the last unit, it could be Pudding, it could be Bobbin, it could be so many other different characters. But if you have the 3 Treasure Map Rare Recruit characters, that alone allows you to bypass the specific debuffs or the buffs that Jack has. And ideally you want to have those characters, but if not, definitely try and build your teams around Treble, Bobbin, Yonji, and Rebecca. Now, just to reiterate just the full teams that we've gone through, like, these are the most optimal teams that you can build around, these specific mini-bosses. But if you, obviously don't have these characters, make sure you go ahead and check back on all the mini-bosses that we just went through for other suggested characters that you can use instead of the ones that we suggest here. So, obviously for Eustace Kid, I would highly suggest to run the full super evolved version of the Germa 66 squad to fully counter all of Eustace Kid's specific buffs. Against Caesar Clown, he gives you the 98-turn attack boost. I believe it's a 20% attack boost. And also, he just removes all your orb boosts whenever you activate them, unless if you have 3 separate orb boosters on your crew. So utilizing boosts that are not attack or orb boosts are going to be the most optimal here. So conditional boost, tap timing bonus is what I suggest here with Sabo and Inuarashi. And then you also have Raid Cracker to help you remove the chain lock that Caesar inflicts on your crew. Hody Jones can be quite tough, but utilizing V2 Sanji obviously is going to be the way to go here, because Sanji himself removes the chain limiter effect that he puts on your crew, and also he does a lot of damage to Hody himself. But obviously you don't need to specifically use these characters, and another character that's going to be quite useful here is going to be Legend Jinbei 6+, because he does give you some orbs, he does get rid of defensive effects, and he's going to be a very useful unit for this specific fight. Against you Rogue, him having all of those mob characters with the 10-hit combo barrier can seem quite intimidating. However, utilizing Treasure Map Whitebeard to fully decimate the entire room is going to be quite useful. Other characters you can use as well, as we said, was going to be Magellan 6+ to toxic the enemies, and then that will kill them through their barrier as well. Magellan's going to be quite good here as well, just because he does get the innate type advantage against you Rogue being a quick character, so I would highly suggest bringing him. But obviously Treasure Map Whitebeard will also do the trick. And also, once you fully max out your own Treasure Map Jack, he's also going to be quite good here, because he does 2 million fixed damage to you Rogue himself, and that's going to be super duper useful here, because you can do that mass amount of damage, then wave clear, and it's going to make this stage stupidly easy. Now, this is the last team against Treasure Map Jack. This is just the specific team that I would suggest that can counter all of the specific debuffs that you really need to. This is in no way the most optimal point booster team, but in terms of countering debuffs, this team will be able to do it. Obviously, other characters that give you a lot of treasure mode points are going to be like the Rare Recruit Ivankov that came out last Treasure Map, Rare Recruit Jozu and stuff like that. So there are a lot of other characters that you can do replacements with, but in terms of just doing everything that you really need to do in order to counter debuffs, this specific team is going to be the best team. Obviously, the quick character here being put in can be replaced with other characters that you have, but in order to get the captain effect off with Inuarashi, you need to have one of every color in your team. So the quick character, I would say, is the most replaceable unit in order to be the most effective, but I would say Katakuri, Shirahoshi, Sicilian, and Inu are going to be the best team to fully counter everything that Treasure Map Jack will be able to throw at you. So that is going to conclude this video, guys. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.